help me understand, what is the boss of Big Blue doing at an oil and gas conference in the Middle East?
Isn't everything in the world about cloud and AI?
Right.
And if you think about applying those two technologies to this wonderful industry, what an opportunity.
Okay, so what are the capabilities that IBM's looking to demonstrate here? And tell me about this partnership with Amazon in particular. Why is this significant? Why is now the right time?
Look, a single oil well produces a terabyte of data a day. Do we really take advantage of all of it? Even if we try to, how are we going to do it without AI? So trying to do all that is a big piece of what we do. And then if you begin to take a small microcosm of that in the partnership with Amazon, what we announced with them is an open industry data set sitting on our Cloud Pak for Data that sits on top of Amazon. So imagine all of our clients who want to use these powerful capabilities on data. They can now leverage them on our software, on top of Amazon, wherever they want. Now, why do you care? Because think about the amount of data I talked about. So you need the power of the cloud to go unlock that value. Then data today is in silos. If it's in silos, yeah, maybe I can drill here, but maybe I can't recover all the oil. Or maybe I'm using the wrong lubricant. Or maybe I'm not getting the correct carbon sequestration. You open up all these things as you begin to use these capabilities, and that's why we're so excited.
Okay, so cloud, data, AI, you're saying these technological solutions are going to be able to help large oil and gas companies move through the energy transition. How specifically though?
Well, they're going to help them move through it in these certain ways. One, today you might be able to get 20 or 30% of the oil out from an oil reservoir. But really? As an engineer, I say, why isn't it 100%?
Sure.
So applying these technologies is going to let you discover ways to go get more out. Now, as you're taking it out, maybe you can sequester carbon dioxide deep in these wells. Again, AI techniques are going to come in and data techniques in order to do that. Or, I know this kind of rock is there. I know that I can sequester more carbon dioxide under a salt layer than under a non-salt layer. So applying the mixture of AI combined with what we want to do to achieve a better overall climate for our planet is the mixture that I think we can get done.
Okay, so what are the conversations that you're having here in the region specifically? Are there partners that you're looking to do business with? Have you identified future clients? Have you signed any deals here? What's going on?
Yeah, so then I'm going to step back just a minute and talk about IBM's overall strategy. One, we have worked a number of years and we now have the portfolio that is really, really interesting to all of our clients and partners. Two, we are really focused on driving business together with partners and not just on ourselves. And three, the conversation always comes up. Are you going to reinvest? Are you going to keep investing? And we have the cash flow that allows us to put more and more back into investing in the company. So it's in that context. So as we think about partners, well, we believe in hybrid cloud. So maybe there are some local cloud players, you can imagine some in the region who might be really interested in working with us. Or there may be offshoots of health practices of ones where we already work with them a lot in other countries, that maybe we're going to start working with them here as well. Or maybe in oil and gas, we're going to apply a lot of what we just talked about into helping the local oil and gas companies work together. So stay tuned for the announcements. They're coming. Believe me, they're going to come.
Okay, so when you look at the future of IBM, obviously the business has been undergoing a pretty significant transformation. Tell me how this plays into the broader strategy moving forward though. What type of growth are we going to see coming out of cloud in the future, and how are you going to be able to compete with those big boys in the market like Microsoft and Amazon and Google, for example, if this is the future of the business?
Well, I don't actually compete with Microsoft and Amazon. I would put them in the partner category.
Okay.
So we believe that we are going to turn to mid-single digit growth from 2022 onwards. 2022 is a month and 15 days away, so I'm not promising it at some vague future time. I'm saying 2022, you're going to see mid-single digit growth from IBM. So that's what all the hard work we've done positions us to get done, and I have full conviction that we'll be able to do that. I don't want to compete with Microsoft and Amazon. They're partners. We want to take our software, and we really believe in a hybrid strategy. So think sovereignty, locality, economics, and say many countries, many enterprises, many governments want the data to remain local, to remain resident within national boundaries. We want to work with all the providers where they are, and we want to bring our capabilities right on top of their infrastructures and then provide that value back to our clients. So think about it, using Red Hat technologies, using automation, using Watson. We want to do it right there. So that way, these are all our partners, not our competitors.
What I like about your position at IBM is that you have a bird's eye view of what's happening across your business, which spans the world, right? So help me understand how you're viewing the global economic recovery today. What would you say is the biggest risk to the outlook in 2022 and beyond? Anything keeping you up at night?
Well, geopolitics always comes into play, and I would turn around and say, but we have no control of that, so I'm going to go punt that on the side. First, let's acknowledge we still have a pandemic upon us. It's not yet an endemic. So I think if some weird new variant comes around, even worse than Delta, that would bother me, because I think it'll cause a temporary, not a permanent slowdown. I have so much confidence. We have the correct protocols, we have vaccines, we can go fine-tune these vaccines. So I think that there is a way, but it could cause a temporary slowdown. Then with all of the liquidity and the fears of inflation raising its head, that can cause some chaos in this thing. By the way, I don't think that's a 2022 threat. That's probably later than 2022.
You're not worried about inflation right now?
I'm always worried about it, but I'm not sure it'll have an impact on the business in 2022. So there's a subtle difference between the question was, what am I worried about the business? No, I am worried about inflation. That's why I raised the question. But I don't think it'll cause an impact on the business. But he also has a bird's eye view. I'm seeing more demand for technology than at any time during my career. I think that technology has kind of become the basis on which most companies and enterprises and governments do their thing. Take simple examples, like restaurants, stores would all have fought omni-channel even 2 years ago. Now, because of the pandemic, they all thought they need it to survive. But once they did it, they realized, wait, but that opens up my market. It's actually not more expensive, maybe cheaper to serve my clients this way. And suddenly this has opened up ways of doing things that people hadn't thought about. People in a certain demographic didn't want to do online. Everybody did online over the last 2 years. Countries like India leapfrogged onto e-delivery of everything. So to me, this has opened up an opportunity for technology, the likes of which we have not seen. I think Y2K may be a small approximation of what we're seeing. So I see tech spending heavy even through this environment.
Okay, interesting. One other thing, with regards to the issues that we see in the supply chain right now, a number of executives that we speak to, particularly in the tech space, are saying this chip shortage is having a real meaningful impact. Are you seeing that translate into the business or operations today?
We are. I would say the impact on us is a bit smaller in terms of percentage of business impact than many others. Can I say it's negligible? Maybe. Can I say it's zero? Absolutely not. But the bigger question becomes the impact on my clients, because if they are not able to finish goods, then they're not able to do many of the projects they wanted to. So I think the chip shortage is real. I think it's there. Consumer electronics, PCs, laptops, automobiles. And I don't know, I've gone on the record before to say, I think this is going to take us more than 6 months to resolve. I think this is closer to 12 to 18 than 6.
Okay, so perhaps some more concerns on the horizon there. Arvind, great to have you here in the Middle East. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here with you, Dan.